Let's talk arrays. You see here I've defined 4 variables called age1, age2, age3, age4. The compiler, or actually at runtime, when we hit main, these age values, or these defined variables, are going to take up RAM on the stack. So let's just say we have our oh, that's terrible. Our stack, let me clear that off. Let's say when we get to main, we have some other stuff before it, but then here's the top of our stack right here. So when main executes, it has to define age. So here's 4 bytes for age 1. Here's 4 bytes for age 2. Here's 4 bytes for age 3. And here's 4 bytes for age 4. Alright? So when I address these and I assign values to these ages, it's just going to change the values in these various addresses. In fact, I'm going to say A1, A2, A3, A4. Okay? Well, that's cool. Except what if I had 20 different ages? Well, age 5, age 6, age 7. You see the problem? Alright, so what arrays allow us to do is to group all these variables or aggregate them. That's another way of saying taking a bunch of stuff and shoving it into one. If you're going to consolidate your loans, you take all your loans and put them into one loan, so you only have one loan payment instead of 20 loan payments, so on and so forth. I want to aggregate all these variables into one variable. Well, the way we do that is with an array. So let me show you the syntax. I'm just going to take all these away. Remember, I have 4 of them, so I'm just going to say ages. I want 4. Alright, well, let me show you what the compiler does when it sees this. Same thing, we have the runtime stack, and there's some prep stuff before main, but eventually we get into main. And then the compiler says, okay, 4 integers. Alright, so here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, here's 4. Well, so what's the difference between these two pictures here? Hopefully you see nothing. Right? And array is essentially the same thing. I just said, give me 4 ints. And so in RAM, literally, there's 1 int, 2 int, 3 int, 4 int, saying they're 4 bytes wide. Okay, now if I want to actually access values inside of these, let me show you the syntax to do so. I say ages. If I want the first element, you would think I'd say 1, but instead I'm going to say 0. The first element is 0 based, and I'll explain why a little later. But to get to this first guy right here, I'm going to say ages sub 0. Let's set ages sub 0 to my age. I'm 21. Don't I wish? Ages sub 1 will be 32. Ages sub 2 will get 55. And ages sub 1 gets, or not sub 1, sub 3 gets, I don't know, let's put 1 out there. Alright, notice I'm only going to go up to 3 because it's 0 based. This first element down here is element 0, is element 1, element 2, element 3. The size is 4. I have 4 elements, 1, 2, 3, 4, but the first element is 0. Alright, so now using a loop or however you want to do this, you can just read this data. So let's do a quick, easy for loop. 4 int I gets 0, I less than 4. Okay. I plus plus, and then I'm going to cout ages sub I, so on and so forth. So I is going to go from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, print out all the values. Let me build and run this, and you see oh, that's kind of red on black. That's kind of nice. But we see 21, 32, 55, 1, 21, 32, 55, 1. Okay, so that's arrays in a nutshell. If you, well, I'll talk about some other stuff in some future videos.